Okay, so going to do a little bit about Dhanishta because Moon is going to be in Dhanishta soon, tomorrow as of 5 p.m. today, which is 8th of December 2021. So Dhanishta is obviously all to do with the drums and keeping a beat with the surroundings, with life, literally. It's very successful nakshatra, and it's ruled by Mars, and actually it does go between two rashis, which are Capricorn, and also it's also in Aquarius. And Mars is exalted at 28 degrees of this. So the part that is actually in Capricorn is really good for construction, civil engineering, building, constructions are big things, because obviously Capricorn is very much to do with big, solid, long-lasting things. So, and with Mars, that gives that engineering, and the materials would be metal with Mars, and bricks and concrete and sand and things with Saturn, and all the minerals. And it could also be to do with things to do with oil and things as well, because of the colour being dark and everything. So just wanted to talk about the tree for this nakshatra, because trees and all things to do with nakshatras are very interesting. So this is called the Indian mesquite, and it's basically mainly it was kind of originally gone from Iran to India, but it can be found in America and Africa too. This blooms kind of in spring to summer. It can survive in very arid environment, and it doesn't need that much water, but the roots of it are long and shorter in body if it's the area that it's in is very arid and dry. But if it does have a good rainfall, then the roots will be shorter. So I'm just going to get my nose and actually tell you, because you can literally use everything. You can use like the root, the bark, the fruit, the pods out of the fruit. No, it has some pods as well, and also the seeds in there as well. I mean, it's remarkable what you can do. And also the wood itself is really good for furniture making and fires and making tools and stuff. So let's have a look at it. So obviously blooms between spring to summer, and grows about 8 meters tall. And the root size, as I said, I'll just explain, but it does have a sap, and the sap is sweet, so it can be used as to chew, like chewing gum, and it's really good for tummy ache, stuff like that. So it's used for that, and it can be used for children as well. And when the tree is wounded in any way, it does give like a black tar. And there is a method that they use in India and in Africa where they mix it, and then they provide with other stuff, and actually provide this like tincture or this paste. And if men put it on bald areas, then it stimulates hair growth, which is wonderful. So, and it has when it's also diluted, they boil it and dilute it with water, the sap, and you can actually use it as eye wash, as an antiseptic for wounds and things. It can treat chapped lips and skin, generally speaking, sunburn and venereal disease. The roots are used for chewing to help with toothache. Oh God, I could do with some of that. Leaves are, you can sort of leave them in water or steep them in hot water and use it as tea for tummy ache or stimulate appetite. Flowers are used in tea or sometimes roasted and formed into balls and stored as food for later. They can also make these into, they have also pods and seeds. So, and what they do with these is they ground them into a mill, like flour, and use it to make round cakes. And these cakes can be had just like raw, or you can dry them and fry them to eat later. But they can also use this, the mill, for actually thickening soups and gravy and stews and things. and they can also ferment, use it as for flatbread, or they can also, because it's milk, so it's like flour, or they can ferment it and make alcohol out of it. So it's very, very, it's amazing what you can do with this. There are other things you can do still, so that's not just necessarily all of it. And I thought there was something. Oh yeah, and it's also the beans and the pods are used as a sweetener. But because it's got really low glycemic index, it doesn't actually increase your blood sugar, so it's okay for people who've got diabetes. So again, there are some of the things to do with this tree. Now it has got the bird for it is a golden bee bird, and it is very beautiful, as you can see in the picture. And the birds are basically they can be heard at dawn, and they do have a beautiful, like a fluting whistle. They do exactly as the name says. So they are bee birds. So they actually, any flying birds or wasps or flies and things, they eat them, and they normally found in Africa and Asia. And they form colonies, quite large colonies, and the nests are sort of in burrows where they tunnel through the vertical sandy banks near the rivers, and that's where they nest. And normally both parents take care of their young ones. And obviously because of their habitat area, because it's like, in sandy banks and everything else, so they can fall prey to rodents and snakes and kind of reptile type things. But they do carry parasites, so they're not really it's not a bird that you want to be holding and handling really, so as such. So that's it. So it just goes to show that all these things that we say, so you can see that they like the tree, they can blossom and be useful in many things, because Dhanishta is a very successful nakshatra. And also, just like the bird, it has got they got to be careful about certain things in life, because it's a beautiful bird, but it's also parasitic. So it tells you a lot about, because it's ruled by Mars, so it can have like that sort of wherever Mars is, it can actually get you a little scar or something. So there you go. So that's it. And actually, before I finish, I'm just going to add a little bit more onto this. Dhanishta is quite an auspicious nakshatra, so there are quite a lot of things you can do, but it's definitely not good for marriage, dating, anything that's gentle and friendly and requires tact. Like, for example, if you want to do like starting a new regimen, like going on a diet or something like that, sexual activity, anything like cleaning your house, things like that. It's not good for things like that. However, it's very auspicious for anything to do with religious activities, meditation, yoga, celebration of other things, but not really marriage and soft things like christening a child or something like that. I wouldn't do it on a day like today. It's not good for commerce, education, and it's good for starting education, learning, and things like that. And it's good for high-tech equipment, weaponry, and buying new clothes, gems and jewellery is really good. Agriculture, gardening, treating disease, traveling, any form of travel will be good today. It's really, really auspicious. So those are the things that are really good for Dhanishta. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.